Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you both for your service to our nation, particularly at this perilous time. General Thomas, in recent months, Special Operations Forces from across the services have made the ultimate sacrifices in conflicts around the world. Most recently, a number of brave special operators lost their lives fighting ISIS in northeastern Afghanistan. The reduction in conventional forces in Afghanistan and the closure of a majority of combat outposts and forward operating bases in the country has left a considerable gap in U.S. presence in critical enemy engagement areas. Would Special Operations Forces in Afghanistan be better supported if there were a greater presence of conventional soldiers in combat outposts and forward operating bases throughout the country?
Senator, I think General Nicholson and others are looking at enhancing the capability in terms of train, advise, and assist. So more conventional forces that would thicken the ability to advise and assist Afghan forces. That would absolutely be to our benefit. Right now, you mentioned the casualties that we recently incurred. Those are accompanied operations. That's where our Special Operations Forces are accompanying Afghan Special Operations capabilities. Ultimately, we want to make them capable of doing it on their own, and we're certainly making some progress there. But I think parallel efforts to advise and assist the larger conventional capabilities of the Afghan forces would absolutely enhance the effort.
Do the Special Operations Forces have the dedicated assets and resources that they need to fight and win, given so many competing areas of conflict around the world? And are you ever put into a position where you're forced to choose which mission to fully support and what can be accomplished with less dedicated assets?
Senator, to answer your first question, I do think we have adequate resources to task. The bigger challenge, as was kind of prefaced by the chairman at the beginning, is that from a DoD standpoint, we're a microcosm of the DoD from a global approach in that we're trying to provide the necessary special operations requirements to all the geographic combat commanders at the same time with a relative prioritization. The Secretary and the Chairman are endeavoring to make sure that prioritization is as precise as it needs to be for us as service components so that we can support the effort in priority. But it is a challenge. We, like the Department, are trying to do a lot of things at the same time, and in a challenging world, and so that's got some inherent friction to it.
On a different topic, I understand that the decision regarding which combatant command would be responsible for weapons of mass destruction has been decided, and that starting in January, it now falls under your command at the Special Operations Command. This is obviously a critical component of our nation's nuclear deterrent and counter WMD programs that have a major responsibility, including nuclear, chemical, and biological agents. Could you please comment on how the addition of WMD responsibility has affected current and future operations?
Senator, I mentioned previously that we absolutely embrace the enormity of this mission, and it is much bigger than Special Operations and SOCOM. We're looking to leverage as much of the rest of the interagency community and our international partners to accomplish our government's objectives in this regard as we can. Right now, we have the resourcing required to embrace this set, and we're in discussion for what we need going forward. I mentioned earlier that I'd hope to provide an assessment to our Secretary of Defense in August in terms of a comprehensive review of what we're trying to accomplish from a U.S. government policy and strategy objective and how well we're doing. Again, we look forward to providing that to the committee as well once we brief the Secretary.
Ms. Whalen, do you have additional thoughts on the impact of WMD responsibility under SOCOM?
Senator, thanks for the question. I think we fully supported the decision to shift the responsibility to SOCOM. The SOCOM has the capabilities that we were intended to utilize to address this issue. So I think organizationally it made a tremendous amount of sense to us to move it from STRATCOM to SOCOM, so we fully support.
Okay. Thank you very much.